His suspension is final, and it's not being lifted until after WrestleMania. And if he does anything, there will be serious repercussions taken against him and regarding his future on Smackdown Live altogether. Michaels! Shawn Michaels to the rescue! Shawn Michaels challenges Bobby Fish to a match at WrestleMania. Beast, Rainmaker, it is all for the gold! Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is Smackdown Live. More importantly, it's the final episode of Smackdown Live before WrestleMania. What an evening of action we're in for here tonight. A title match on our way and a big time main event involving the WWE Champion. 24 hours ago I was in the Philippines. Now I'm in Germany. I don't know where the fuck ECW is going to be from, to be honest. Probably the middle of bumfuck nowhere. That'll be entertaining. Nevertheless, later on this evening, WWE Tag Team titles on the line. The Dangerous Alliance, Sheamus and Pete Dunne will square up to take on Dolph Ziggler and Cody Rhodes for the tag team titles. The first title defense for the American Showoffs could also be their last, but a huge main event here for the first time in about 5 months, I believe. Brock Lesnar is in action on Smackdown Live. The Beast will compete in the main event against Dean Ambrose. What a contest that's going to be. Definitely going to be one you don't want to miss, but we kick off this evening the same way we kicked off last week's, actually, with the Smackdown General Manager, Christian James, coming towards the ring with quite a bit to say, I imagine, with his last bit to say as well, before his first tenure in charge at WrestleMania. You got to imagine the nerves may be getting a little bit to Dredge and James as they head into their first WrestleMania. And I wonder how they're reacting to it all as well. Christian James welcomes us to another, what should be thrilling edition of Smackdown Live. Almost every member of the Smackdown roster that will participate at WrestleMania is in action tonight, including Brock Lesnar, of course, who will face Dean Ambrose in tonight's main event. We saw Lesnar at the conclusion of last week's Smackdown in the ring with Kazuchika Okada, of course, but that is not all. We have the tag team titles being defended as well. The American Showoffs facing the Dangerous Alliance, a match that was set for WrestleMania, but there was not enough room or time on the card for that contest, unfortunately. I also imagine that last week the challenge laid down by Shawn Michaels may have had a certain effect on that match being knocked from WrestleMania as well. But of course, one match it isn't is that historic 6-woman ladder match for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. And all 6 of those women are in action here tonight in a 6-woman tag team match. The participants were randomly chosen, so it should be an interesting night to say the least as those women prepare for what is going to be a history-making matchup. The first ever women's ladder match in the history of this universe. Just a few days away. And they all get one last crack at one another. But finally, and some big and kind of devastating news, the SmackDown doctors will not clear Shawn Michaels for the match at WrestleMania. If there is a match that's going to take place, it will not be sanctioned, and Shawn Michaels will have to take the risk by himself. That is some fairly big news to close out on. Michaels not clear for WrestleMania. The match between himself and Bobby Fish, should it take place, will have to be unsanctioned. Christian James, I imagine, does not want a death on his hands. It's not the first time that an unsanctioned match has taken place, even on Smackdown Live. But that won't stop, I don't think, Shawn Michaels nor Bobby Fish from wanting to lock horns with one another one last time. Maybe we'll get an answer about that later on this evening. As for right now, we head into our first matchup of the evening. Shinsuke Nakamura to go one-on-one against Matt Riddle. And I imagine Riddle might be accompanied at ringside by none other than Shawn Michaels himself. And I wonder what Michaels' reaction is to this, knowing that he had to have failed the medical to be cleared for WrestleMania. Failed the medical to be cleared for his match against Bobby Fish. We'll see if anything will be done about that in the final Smackdown Live before WrestleMania. The atmosphere is tense. Everything has huge implications heading into WrestleMania. And one guy who was one move away from WrestleMania was this man. Shinsuke Nakamura was one move away from beating Kazuchika Okada at King of the Ring. One move away from going to face the Beast Brock Lesnar, but instead the Rainmaker will find himself locking horns with Brock Lesnar one more time. Okada's 7-month story could come to an end this Sunday, or it could all continue on. Another guy, one move short of WrestleMania as well. Matt Riddle took on Kota Ibushi 2 or 3 weeks back now in an absolutely outstanding contest and in a thrilling one-on-one match for the #1 contendership to the Intercontinental title. It was Ibushi who came out on top, and it is Ibushi who faces Finn Bálor this Sunday on the grandest stage of them all. But there is the man of the hour, to be honest, in the background there, Shawn Michaels. What is going through his head as his protege heads towards the ring? I wonder. I do wonder indeed, because there has got to be an awful lot running through his mind right now. Not clear for WrestleMania, not knowing if his match will even happen with Bobby Fish. Michaels has put everything on the line for this. He has sacrificed everything for this one opportunity at Bobby Fish, and it could all pass him by in the blink of an eye as well. That would without a doubt be a devastating outcome should it happen. Hopefully someone in the Dangerous Alliance will have something to say about it later on this evening. As for right now, Shinsuke Nakamura trying to get under the skin of Matt Riddle, who responds with a big knee in the face to the former World Heavyweight Champion. Nakamura, of course, a very successful man within this universe, and has spent the last few months toying with Kazuchika Okada, but that all came to an end pretty much at King of the Ring. Everything that Nakamura had sought to do reached a pinnacle at King of the Ring when he was toppled by the Rainmaker in Korakuen Hall, in their home country. For Okada to become the #1 contender to the WWE Championship. Big Pele kick there by Riddle just before WrestleMania. This is a huge chance for Riddle to get something going for him on the way out of it. Well, should Matt Riddle be still a member of the Smackdown Live roster following the draft, he could be, with a victory over Shinsuke Nakamura, he could be in a big position to make something happen. Nice suplex there as well to Shinsuke Nakamura, showing his strength. Showcasing it for us all to see right then and there. Riddle in now, suplex, small package suplex there, doesn't go for the cover after it. Shinsuke Nakamura though on the back foot right now to the works of Riddle, but a good evasion from Nakamura, drop kick in. And I know Michaels is looking on at ringside, and I know he's going to be focused on this match, but just what is running through that man's head? What is he thinking of with every moment that goes by? That is the question that I want the answer to more than anything. Riddle from behind, reverse suplex from Riddle, covers Nakamura. Michaels watching on, but couldn't even get a 1 count on the King of Strong style. Your Michaels, how blinded is your mentality right now by the thought of having one last match at WrestleMania, but the potentiality of having it all taken away from you because you couldn't clear the test because your injuries were that significant. I imagine it's got to be devastating for Michaels. I imagine it's got to be gut-wrenching. But Matt Riddle cannot be distracted by it himself. He's got to stay focused here if he wants a chance of beating Nakamura. Went for the kick in the leg there, in the chest, sorry, good counter by Riddle. Dragon screw got all of it. And Riddle now, big chop in the chest to Nakamura as well, but look at how quickly Nakamura replied. Landslide from Nakamura. Riddle's foot though in that, underneath that bottom rope. Nakamura dumps it with a Saito suplex though. Look at how aggressive Nakamura gets once he's on the message, once he's on the money. Nakamura unstoppable, and Riddle in deep trouble. big exploder there from Nakamura. He's fired up and ready to end things here. Oh, wait a minute, Riddle though in more trouble. Oh, can't cover up, can't block those knees that are going right to the side of his head. Shinsuke Nakamura with a ruthless onslaught of offense in an attempt to finish off Riddle. Kinshasa will end it. Riddle not on the level of Nakamura. And the King of Strong Style victorious. He'll be hoping he's the only one picking up a win heading into WrestleMania out of him and Kazuchika Okada. He'll hope that he's the only one whose theme plays and gets to celebrate victory, not Kazuchika Okada, and certainly not at WrestleMania. Nakamura will watch that match from afar, because I could promise you, if there is an Okada win, I don't think things will be over between Nakamura and Okada. I don't believe that'll be the case, but one thing that is certain is that WrestleMania is going to be a huge one for Smackdown Live. Every match on the evening is looking to be an incredible one, even the one that hasn't been confirmed yet. And this one will be equally as incredible as well. Ricochet to go one-on-one against Finn Bálor here tonight. The Intercontinental Champion squaring off against the teammate of his WrestleMania opponent. Certainly a very interesting predicament that both men find themselves in. Kota Ibushi going to be watching on from ringside. Ricochet with a huge chance this evening to cause a disturbance for the originals as they head into WrestleMania. I am very interested to see just what will happen here this evening. What Ricochet can pull out of the bag to try and upset Finn Bálor, to try and put the Intercontinental Champion off his game so close to WrestleMania. Ibushi's year-long hunt for the Intercontinental title could come to an end this Sunday if he can claim victory. And he would certainly, most certainly love to have that be the case. We saw last week in the tag team match, Ibushi, when he got in the ring, he was fired up and he put Bad Luck Fale down in their tag team matchup. It was an incredible sight to behold. And now as Fale heads out with Finn Bálor once again, what will be done here tonight by the Intercontinental Champion to make sure that he's the one on top of his game heading to WrestleMania? We'll head towards the ring. Plenty of talking points surrounding the originals heading into WrestleMania. The suspension of AJ Styles, the Intercontinental title on the line, Becky Lynch having a chance to win the Smackdown Women's Championship back. It's a night for the originals that will definitely be remembered for them if everything goes well, and for us if everything goes wrong. That night could all be pulled back to this moment in time, maybe, should Ricochet beat Finn Bálor one-on-one. If he beats him as well, Ricochet could find himself next in line for the Intercontinental title. There's no denying it. Here we go, match underway. Collabo tie-up in the corner. Bálor has him up against Ricochet, up against the turnbuckle there in the corner where Ibushi's watching on. Set headlock now from Ricochet. Use it to work on the arm instead. Working hammerlock here from Bálor now. Can Ricochet get himself out of it? Yes, he can. This is the kind of match, to be fair, that would better the kind of altercation they find themselves in that will suit Bálor more than Ricochet. Of course, Ricochet has to be aware as well that he is in the ring right now with a two-time world champion and a three-time Intercontinental Champion, and a man who has no respect for anyone, not in the originals. Bálor now unloading away on Ricochet. Cheap shot out of the corner, and now laying on the punishment to Ricochet. Single underhook suplex there. Ricochet gets himself out of the way. Spinning kick in the gut. There's the speed, though, of the King of High Flying. And Bálor having to recover in the corner. Oh, cross body there from Ricochet, looking to fly. Went for the uppercut, but it was evaded. And now in the turnbuckle goes Bálor, chop in the chest. Snapmares him down. Drop kick, basement drop kick, side of the head there. So much speed that Ricochet just did not have the time for it, but a good counter there from him. What a cutter as well. It was like he was held in air for about 3 seconds before he came down. Ricochet, oh, went for the shooting star press, but Bálor got the knees up in time there to counter him. Quick strikes from the Intercontinental Champion. Ricochet stopping that one. Backslide bomb there, cover by Ricochet. Trying to do everything he can to soften up the Intercontinental Champion just before WrestleMania. Now Ibushi's watching on intently, realizing that he needs Ricochet to make an impact here. Or rather, he may want him to make an impact here to really make sure that he has an advantage heading into WrestleMania. And he gets an up-close and personal look at the offense of Finn Bálor. Even though they definitely do have... what's what I'm looking for? They definitely do have experience with one another in the ring before, having even met at last year's WrestleMania, albeit in a fatal 4-way. Good moonsault there from Ricochet. Only got one with it, though. Bálor counters it, kicks him in the leg. Ricochet counters. In the turnbuckle we go, and who knows what Ricochet will come up with. Hurricanrana. Bálor catches him, though. DDTs him into the mat as well. Hard impact for Ricochet to endure right now, and things are looking good for Finn Bálor, has to be said. In the turnbuckle here, might have been thinking that hesitation drop kick. Ricochet got the counter, suplex, power bomb. And Ricochet sees the chance to go back up high now, looking to fly onto Finn Bálor. Oh, went for a Hurricanrana there and missed it. And that could have proved costly for Ricochet. He's still in this one, though. It was a really awkward landing. Still fighting on. What the hell is Ricochet going to do from up high? Huge Hurricanrana! Huge Hurricanrana to Bálor. Will it put away the Intercontinental Champion here? No. It's a kick out at 2. Super kick attempt again. Bálor finds the counter to it. Going to send Ricochet into the turnbuckle once more. Balor's got to be looking for that dropkick. Ricochet able to deny him. Sending him to the outside here. Big forearm in the face. DDT under the apron. Oh my goodness. Ricochet with a huge move. But here comes Fale. Fale getting involved right now. The arguing continuing on between those two men as Bálor recovers on the outside. Oh, but wait a minute, Fale! Fale pulled Ricochet into the ropes and putting the boots to him now. This one's over. Fale trying to get one over on Ibushi, but here comes Ibushi. Ibushi to the rescue of Ricochet. Ibushi saving his tag team partner, sending him outside. Ricochet up high and a huge splash to the outside. Fale down. Future Shock able to stand tall over Fale, but watch out. Ibushi celebrating in the ring. Bálor sneaks back in. Looking to get one out for Ibushi. Countered though. Countered. Ibushi gets one over on Bálor. The Intercontinental Champion sacked outside. Advantage Ibushi. Heading into WrestleMania, the Originals heading up the ramp with the tail between their legs. Will the same outcome occur at WrestleMania? A big advantage there for Kota Ibushi. Days ahead of the chance of a lifetime, the time to finally break the mold, the chance to finally become the Intercontinental Champion. Advantage goes to the challenger. And if he's got Ricochet in his corner this Sunday, then there's no doubting the fact that Fale could very well be neutralized, just how he was there. It all fell apart in a matter of moments. But the save from Bad Luck Fale, sorry, from Ibushi, who oh so helpful to Ricochet. That is going to be a big match at WrestleMania. It's going to be an incredible one, no denying it. But as for right now, strap ourselves in, because here comes another big one. 6-woman tag team matchup here for the 6 women who will be making history at WrestleMania. Nikki Cross, the first of these 6 women out, as she looks to claim back her Smackdown Women's Championship to become a 3-time Smackdown Women's Champion. Can she make it happen on the grandest stage of them all, no less? Last year, the Smackdown Women's Championship wasn't up for grabs at WrestleMania. This year, both of those titles are, and not only are both of them up for grabs, but the Smackdown Women's title getting a huge opportunity. A ladder match, a WrestleMania tradition, as it has been since the 3rd one, maybe? Yeah, something like that. Nevertheless, as those 6 women prepare to make history, right now, it is all about who can get the momentum heading into that match. Well, 3 of these women had to fight to qualify. 3 of these women were handed the chance immediately. And here is, I believe, the first of the women who qualified. Paige beat Tegan Knox to get this opportunity. It's a very, very good opportunity for Paige to claim her first title in about a year and a half now. Last year at WrestleMania, Paige tore the house down with Rosemary in an Extreme Rules match for the Raw Women's title. They battered each other from pillar to post in the attempt to be the Raw Women's Champion, but it was Rosemary who hung on and retained the Smackdown Women's Champion, Raw Women's Championship, my apologies. Here comes a woman who is looking to win her very first women's title in this universe. I think I talked about this last week when she beat Ember Moon to qualify. 5 women in this match at one point or another have held a Smackdown Women's title or a women's title in general. The only one who hasn't is Sasha Banks. Every other woman has held the title. Sasha Banks has not. That is a very interesting predicament for Banks to find herself in. If anything, that puts a further chip on the shoulder of Sasha Banks, because she has an edge. All of these women know what it's like to be champion. They've been to the top of the mountain before, so goes the phrase. Sasha Banks has not. But Sasha Banks was a trailblazer when the women returned to this universe, because it was her and Becky Lynch who tore the house down to become at the time just a women's champion. It wasn't split between brands at that point. But now it is. It was Lynch who got the win on that occasion. It is Banks who will be desperate to get that women's title. Look to climb up the ladder to retrieve it. But here's a woman right now in that match who could definitely be a favorite, who could definitely be one that if she gets up that ladder, it's going to need everyone to pull her back down. Nia Jax proved her dominance when she qualified by decimating Bayley. And now she could look to be a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion. And this woman could look to be a 3-time SmackDown Women's Champion. I believe actually a 4-time Women's Champion, should she win this Sunday. Becky Lynch fired up here with her rival at ringside in Nikki Cross. Things haven't finished between them. You got to remember, it's pretty much Becky Lynch that's the reason this 6-woman ladder match is taking place, because at Extreme Rules, Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross were facing one another. No disqualification match. Through the crowd came Lynch. Steel chair in the back of Nikki Cross. DDT on the chair. A Riott kick. And Ruby Riott was the women's champion. There was chaos ensuing as a result of it. And the SmackDown general manager was left with virtually no choice but to make this match happen. And so it has. There is only one woman left to make her way out. And it's the champion herself. The one with all the eyes on her as she heads into WrestleMania. Riott goes it alone at WrestleMania. No Riott squad at her ringside. No Riott squad in the match either. And a very interesting ploy from the Raw general manager. No Riott squad were even allowed to qualify for this match. Riott, very much so for the first time really in a long time, alone. No one to have her back. No one to look out for her. She is very much so by herself. And she'll have the biggest target on her back as well. Here we go. This match about to begin though. Nikki Cross going to start things off against Nia Jax. There's been plenty of rivalries in this ring between some of these women. And all three of the women who got cheered on the way out. How lucky it is that they were randomly drawn and it ended up being all the ones who were cheered against all the ones who aren't really cheered. All three of those women at one point or another have had a battle with Becky Lynch. Just find it a little bit apt is the right word that I'm looking for. It fits. That's the predicament we find ourselves in. Tag made here between Nikki Cross and Sasha Banks. Now Banks and Jax have had a rivalry in the past, but as I said, all three of those women have had something at one point or another against Becky Lynch. Banks and Lynch battled to win the women's title when the women were brought back to this universe. Paige and Lynch had a rivalry over on Raw. It kind of brought itself over to SmackDown Live as well when both women came over. Nikki Cross and Becky Lynch, well, that's pretty much been the main story of the women's division for the last 6 months or so now. Maybe a little bit shorter than that, maybe about 5 months. Ever since Lynch and Cross were both believed to be members of the Originals, only for the Originals to lock Nikki Cross out and bring Becky Lynch in. But it's a bit awkward considering that Cross is the one since then who has had all the success. Becky Lynch could be looking to change that at WrestleMania as she battles with an old rival in Paige right now. The tale was always that Paige could not beat Becky Lynch. Is that still the case right now? As look at the way that Lynch torques the arm there, bending it in the wrong direction. Paige certainly going to be feeling the impact of that one, as is Becky Lynch going to be feeling a double foot stomp right into her gut. Quick tags from these three women so far. Banks in for a second time in this match now. As I said, these two women made history back Survivor Series a year and a half ago. And now they look to make history again. Misses with the double knees in the turnbuckle. No, it's more than a year and a half ago. That's completely wrong. It's 2.5 years ago. There we go. Got that one right. Becky Lynch countered though by Sasha Banks. Banks went for a kick maybe. Got countered. Lynch sends her to the turnbuckle. Tag made. Nia Jax in the ring now. Oh my goodness. Nia Jax more than in the ring. Leaping into it. Double foot stomp to the back of Sasha Banks. That is 200 plus pounds. Coming right down on your back. So far, the only woman not in this match is the woman with all the eyes on her at WrestleMania. The women's champion herself, Riott. Sasha Banks, quick strikes to Nia Jax. Banks with a smart idea here. Take the leg away from it. Keep her down. Smart and effective as well. Banks now, what's she going to look to do here? I thought she was thinking about tagging out. No, she's going to continue her onslaught onto the leg ship. Down on the kneecaps there. Vicious from Sasha Banks, no doubt about it. Went for the kick in the gut. Got caught, big lariat. All 6 of these women, of course, are going to look to be trying to see what the strengths and weaknesses of everyone is heading into WrestleMania. Of course, though, this match, a completely different ball game to the ladder match. The only similarities are that the same 6 women are in it, and that there are 6 women in it. That's about it. Paige tags herself in, and Riott wanted some action here. The SmackDown Women's Champion finally getting involved in this one. Banks rolled out of the ring. They had to crawl to make the tag to Paige. Oh, counter there by Paige. Might have been thinking the double knees and the turnbuckle there was the SmackDown Women's Champion. Gets caught instead with a forearm in the face, courtesy of the former Raw Women's Champion. Paige in now. Paige Turner to Ruby Riott. And a big tump of momentum could come the way of Paige heading into WrestleMania. Look at the leg and the head being bent against one another. The back of Ruby Riott's head almost touching her foot. That is not supposed to happen in any way, shape or form. Riott there though, fighting away, and being sent into the turnbuckle once again. Oh, knee in the chest, I believe that was, or the face even for Paige. Paige now gonna look for it. Rampage DDT. No, countered there by Ruby Riott. German suplex and cross. Almost caught there by the kick, I believe, of Paige a little bit. As she came off the apron. Paige's legs coming back there. Might have caught might have caught Nikki Cross on the way there. Cross standing on the outside for a moment. Paige in jeopardy here as Becky Lynch now tagged back in. Looks for a arm drag of sorts. Counted. Drop toe hold. Down on her face goes Becky Lynch. Paige still fired up. Sidewalk slam. That was Paige. I think I tag in the woman on her right. Oh, never mind. Nikki Cross dropping off the apron there. Perhaps she wants to make Lynch wait to fight there. Who knows with that psycho mind. Meteora there from Banks though. Perhaps Nikki Cross wants to come into this match and a complete insane peak and unload away on Becky Lynch just before WrestleMania. Surprised though, I'm surprised that Nikki Cross is kind of holding herself back. I'd expect it to be all guns blazing at the sight of Becky Lynch. I guess not. Irish whip, went for a kick again there. Countered. Becky Lynch also gets countered. Double elbows there into the face by Sasha Banks. Look to turn her around maybe. Gets countered. Lynch in. Disarmer. Disarmer applied. Lynch has a disarmer on Sasha Banks here. But not enough damage done to the arm of the boss, who had to fight long and hard against Ember Moon last week to qualify. Banks definitely had the hardest qualification match of the lot. Ember Moon would not give in last week's contest. Tag made. Paige in here. Sasha Banks and Paige getting some good offense with one another. What a tag team move as well. That was incredible from Paige. In the turnbuckle now. Went for the knee in the... Oh! That's going to hurt. Knee right into the turnbuckle, but she can't escape herself here. Oh, Lynch escaping by getting out of the ring and falling into the path of Nikki Cross. Reverse DDT on the outside. Cross finally getting her hands on her bitter rival. And with close eyes on her as well, but we come back in the ring with Becky Lynch in control now. Back elbow and Paige goes down. Oh, and meanwhile Nia Jax just rushed across the ring to lash out Sasha Banks, then knocking her out of the ring. All falling apart here in this women's tag team matchup. Things getting a little bit more hectic. Paige making the crawl, and Nikki Cross is a legal woman. Here we go. Cross is legal now, and Lynch and Cross get into lock horns with one another. This is what these two women waited for. And this is what is going to happen. Lynch in, counter by Cross though. Forearm in the face. And Cross going to look to try and put her down right here, right now. Lynch counters it. The fight is most certainly on between these rivals. Lynch could have made the trying to make the crawl there maybe. Wasn't happening. Paige down on one side, Banks down on another. Cover made by Cross, trying to put her away. Nia Jax making the save there, however. There's Banks, and she's getting her hands right away. Revenge on Nia Jax with that Hurricanrana. Nikki Cross trying to rile herself up there. Becky Lynch in with a counter, however, and an uppercut sends Cross off her feet. If I was Lynch, I've spent a lot of time in this match. I would think about tagging into Ruby Riott, but that doesn't seem to be in the mindset of Becky Lynch right now. Disarmer on Cross. A disarmer is locked in, trying to make Nikki Cross tap. Not going to happen. Cross has no plans of tapping out right now. And look at the advantage that those three women find themselves in. Riott, the only one on the apron. But Lynch still taking matters into her own hands. She's blinded here by the thought of beating Nikki Cross. Rolls her up. Almost had it. Cross in now. And Ruby Riott making the save. Clattering the referee. And clattering Paige as well. Cross comes charging in now. Cross body. It's all breaking down at ringside now. Paige and Ruby Riott with a quick shot in at one another. Nia Jax getting up to her feet. Sasha Banks still down at ringside as well. Well, back down at ringside now, rather. Counter there by Becky Lynch. Wait a minute. Exploder suplex from Lynch as well. Has Nikki Cross down. Is this the end? Jax makes the stop, but Cross makes the kick out. Crowd on their feet for this matchup, as I imagine they will be at WrestleMania. But here's Lynch sitting down on the arm. Disarmer. Disarmer locked in. Disarmer applied on Cross. She fought out of it once already. Will she fight out of it again? Nikki Cross taps out. Cross submits to the disarmer. Becky Lynch, your winner. And a huge, huge win heading into WrestleMania for Lynch over her own rival as well. The Smackdown Women's Champion picking up a victory as well, as does the woman who will look to steamroll her way to victory in Nia Jax. But the real talking point there, Becky Lynch submits Nikki Cross. Obviously, she can't do that this Sunday at WrestleMania. That's not going to win her the title. But that is a huge momentum knock to the Smackdown Women's Champion as her rival beats her. And as they celebrate, two familiar figures are making their way down the ramp. Heyman and Fish are here. And you better believe they have something to say. Look at the smug reaction on the face of Paul Heyman as he takes that microphone in hand right now and starts to deliver his message. But he's talking about, at first, about how the Dangerous Alliance are moments away from capturing the WWE Tag Team titles, but it has come to his attention recently that a client to his side has had a challenge put his way by someone who he put out of his misery. Well, that is pretty obvious who that is. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper. The names that go his way are incredible, but Paul Heyman's client prefers one over the rest. Over. His client takes great pride in the fact that he ended the career of Shawn Michaels, but he sees that Michaels has reared his head around for one more shot at Bobby Fish. Well, whether or not it'll happen is actually no longer up in the air, because look at this. If he's willing to take the risk of it being unsanctioned, then Fish wants to take it one step further. Bobby Fish accepts the challenge if the match is contested as a last man standing. A huge, huge bit of news there from Heyman, and letting Michaels know his client has retired him once before. He can have all the hope in the world, but his client won't let that happen. He'll retire him again, this time for good. Bobby Fish will be the last man standing. That is not a warning. That is a spoiler. Paul Heyman and Bobby Fish accept a challenge at WrestleMania. Last man standing between Bobby Fish and Shawn Michaels. The Heartbreak Kid's last stand against Bobby Fish on the grandest stage of them all. Oh my goodness, it is on. It's gonna be a huge one as well, as will this match. WWE Tag Team titles on the line. Can the momentum of the Dangerous Alliance from what they've just heard take them to the WWE Tag Team titles? We're about to find out. But my oh my. That groundbreaking news is what that was. And Heyman keeps himself out here for this tag team match, walking towards the ring with Pete Dunne, as we prepare for that huge match now at WrestleMania. I can't wait. I can't wait. Last man standing. Bobby Fish and Shawn Michaels. It's finally going to come to an end this Sunday. What we have waited to end for so long, what we have waited to see for so long, will take place on the grandest stage of them all. If you needed another reason to not miss WrestleMania somehow, there it is. But as for right now, the Bruiserweight and the Celtic Warrior are looking to take those tag team titles away from the American Showoffs. It was Fish and Sheamus who became the #1 contenders by beating Bad Luck Fale and Tangaloa a few weeks back. But, I mean, if Bobby Fish is going to WrestleMania, then yeah, why wouldn't you put Pete Dunne in this matchup? Chance for his first crack at glory as well. And momentum would say that the Dangerous Alliance stand a better chance of becoming tag team champions. Sheamus's win last week over Cody Rhodes stands out, as well as the fact, of course, of what we just heard. The Dangerous Alliance is going to be on their peak level right now because they, more than anything else, want to be the tag team champions. They want to be the most successful. They want to be the very best that Smackdown Live has to offer in the tag team division. Whether or not that'll happen, of course, maintains to be seen. But for right now, Sheamus and Pete Dunne definitely have the momentum, have the bit between their teeth to be tag team champions. You gotta imagine Heyman's gonna be screaming instructions at ringside as well. Screaming instructions for these two men to beat Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler to become tag team champions. To give Bobby Fish something to smile about as he heads into WrestleMania for one more battle against the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. We are prepared for a big one. There's no doubt about it. At WrestleMania, but we're prepared for a big one here tonight as well. Ziggler fired up and ready to go. His loss last week to Bobby Fish was kind of it was like the match that light the fuse. Ziggler was beaten by Fish quite comfortably, to be fair. And then after that, Dunne and Fish try to take matters into their own hands. Michaels made the save, and then he made the challenge Fish's way. That has got to be out of Ziggler's mind, though. Bobby Fish isn't in this match, neither is Shawn Michaels, and neither is he at the match this Sunday at WrestleMania. What he has to focus on here is the American Showoffs holding on to their tag team titles in their first title matchup since winning those belts just over a month ago at Extreme Rules. This is a big, big contest for Ziggler and for Rhodes. They have been one of the best tag teams I think we've seen in recent months. The gold shows it, but they need to hold on to it. Can they do it this evening? We are about to find out. As I said, the momentum might be knocked slightly, but that shouldn't change the fact that they are on top of their game right now. That shouldn't change the fact that their losses in singles matches shouldn't dent how they perform in this tag team matchup. Will they have it in them, though? They have the more experience over this duo of the Dangerous Alliance, but we've seen the victories that Dunne and Sheamus can pick up as well. There are a lot of targets on the back of the American Showoffs. A lot of people who want those tag team titles. Can they make it past the Dangerous Alliance at the first time of asking and walk out of this arena still WWE Tag Team Champions, I wonder. Well, as Dunn and Sheamus look on. Heyman at ringside. Get ready to see what instructions he has their way. Get ready to see if he'll intervene in this match at all. Rhodes and Ziggler stand across from them. Tag team titles on their shoulders. But the big question is, of course, for how much longer will they be there? That answer is going to come in just a moment. They are ready. They hand the titles over to the referee. Will this be the very last time they hold on to those titles, though, I wonder? Up for grabs right here, right now. Strap yourselves in. This is going to be a big one. Bell rings and it's done. And Ziggler to start things off. The crowd on the side of Ziggler as well. Look at that. Quick strikes from Ziggler and the early goings. Dunn just shrugs them off. And now suplex into an armbar. Trying to fight out of it. There is Ziggler. And immediately Dunn goes to work on the arm here. Oh, fold in the hand back there and twisting the arm back as well. Snapping it essentially. Agonizing move from Pete Dunne, especially this early on in the matchup. Big time power bomb incoming from Dunne to Ziggler. Look at this. Pete Dunne is not wasting a second. The former NXT Global Champion breaking out the heavy hits. Back-to-back deadlift power bombs there. Incredible strength from Pete Dunne. Good candidate from Ziggler though. Now he's looking to get himself turn on a little bit. Not in that way. He's looking to get himself ready in this match. Looking to get himself fired up here. Count is done right there. Irish whip brings him back in. Back elbow. And the bruiserweight goes down. Sheamus looking to try and get in this match early on. Oh! Smack in the back of the head. No respect for the bruiserweight. And why would Ziggler have any? They took a chair to him last week, or at least tried to. Cody in now off the tag. Counter by Dunn. Kick in the gut. Countered. And the same from Rhodes as well, smacking him in the back of the head and taking the curtain call from his brother Goldust. Cody Rhodes now looking to make things happen as he is in this matchup. Dunn though able to stop it, couldn't make the tag into Sheamus however. Oh, but he does now. A little bit slow into making the tag there, but the Celtic Warrior is in, and the rematch from last week will take place. Oh, 2 shots. And down goes Rhodes. It's the physicality of Sheamus that is something to behold. When he's in that ring, when he's putting the hurting on you, it's something to take note of, and it's certainly something that you'll be feeling as well for quite a while. One of the hardest hitters on SmackDown Live, and I say that with the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura and Brock Lesnar around here. German suplex by Ziggler. The 3-time world champion looking to get the victory there, just not happening. In the turnbuckle we go now. Ziggler in, look for the splash there. Sheamus though moved out of the way of it. Uh-oh. Sheamus, choke. Powerbomb. Chokes it out, bomb rather. Huge move from Sheamus. And I talk about... Wait a minute, talking about Lesnar, that's like a Brock lock. Look at how Ziggler's essentially sideways in the air. Sheamus by the grip on Ziggler's leg is defying physics. Oh, but Ziggler pulls himself up. Great bit of work there. And forcing himself off the head of Sheamus there, punching his way out of it. Good bit of work, good tag made as well. In comes Cody Rhodes now. Once again here, double back elbows. Well, there's certainly been a lot to talk about here on SmackDown Live already, and we haven't reached the main event of the evening. An incredible night of SmackDown Live action so far, but could we be talking about new tag team champions in just a moment, I wonder? We're about to find out, because here are a trio of Irish curse backbreakers by Sheamus. Down on Rhodes. And one move to go to end it all. No! Went for the bro kick. Got countered. Incredible move there by Rhodes. And Pete Dunne tags himself in as Ziggler gets tagged in as well. Good tags made there by both sides. Necessary to make it. Rhodes had been taking quite a lot of offense and needed a break there. Big lariat to down goes Ziggler now. Here goes Pete Dunne in the turnbuckle. Oh, went for a big kick there. You could see when he ricocheted off it just how much he had in him when he went for that kick. How much speed he had going for him. Ziggler moved out of the way. Nice neck breaker. Good hard hit as well. Pete Dunne, though, able to shrug off a lot of these hard hits and make the tag into Sheamus. Celtic Warrior back in this match early on. Maybe a little bit too early if you're asking me. Front face lock. Ziggler in trouble. Shin breaker there. Look at how far away from Cody Rhodes Ziggler finds himself now. Clubbing blows over and over there. Oh, and there's one right into the gut as well that Ziggler's going to be feeling. Jawbreaker once more. Ziggler finds himself in a good position. Famouser! Famouser! And Ziggler goes to the turnbuckle to tune up the band like we hope to see from Michaels this Sunday. Super kick from Ziggler. Will it be enough for victory? Rhodes stops Dunne. Kick out at 2 from Sheamus. Can't put him away. Ziggler unable to finish off Sheamus. But how close is he? Oh, big boot in the face there by Sheamus. Amazing to see Sheamus able to fight back. Just moments after it seemed like he was done for. Here we go in the turnbuckle now. Tag made. Rhodes the legal man. Punched right in the gut. Rhodes lines him up. Crossroads! Crossroads connects. And Rhodes could have ended things right then and there. Is it going to be victory for the Showoffs? A second big move to Sheamus. Oh my goodness. The Celtic Warrior still kicking out. Rhodes maintaining control though. Oh, might have been thinking Din's fire. Sheamus with the big counter. Both guys with big counters for one another. Sheamus now controlling the arm. If I was Sheamus, I would have run in that moment and tagged in Pete Dunne. He didn't, and it cost him, and it's about to cost him dearly. Rhodes in. Din's fire. Din's fire from Rhodes. Cover made. Dunne doesn't have it in him to make a save, and the American Showoffs have done it. Sheamus tried to fight on, but it wasn't happening. The Showoffs have done it. That is quite the win for the Showoffs. They are the tag team champions, and they're going to look to hold on to them as well. Sheamus and Dunne had a good game plan, but for one reason or another, it didn't seem to be executed. Sheamus spent far too long in that match, and it cost him. There are your winners. There are your tag team champions. Now the question comes, who on SmackDown Live is next in line? Might not even be a team on SmackDown Live, depending which way the draft goes. That's a topic for after WrestleMania, though. As for right now, main event of the evening up next. And what a big main event it is as well. Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar. One-on-one. Strap yourselves in. This is going to be a big one. Ambrose heads towards the ring, though, in the WrestleMania doesn't beckon him. But that a huge contest against the Beast does. Dean Ambrose isn't a guy who's going to get himself caught up in not being at WrestleMania, because at the end of the day, Ambrose just wants to fight. And he'll do that right here, right now. And he gets perhaps his favorite type of opponent as well. A guy like Brock Lesnar, who Ambrose can hit time and time again. And just end up, you know, Lesnar will always get back up to his feet. Ambrose is in for one hell of a fight here. But I think that's where Ambrose finds himself at his best. Ambrose, of course, has spent a lot of his time on SmackDown Live over the last few months, locked in battles with the originals. But he's going to be locked in battle with a completely different kind of man today. The WWE Champion heads towards the ring. As I said, for the first time, I believe this is since before Survivor Series, Brock Lesnar is in one-on-one action here on SmackDown Live. Lesnar, if he beats Okada at WrestleMania, will pass Michael Bennett's 235-day reign as ECW champion, will become the third longest reigning world champion of all time, behind Bobby Fish and Seth Rollins. If he loses this Sunday, however, he'll go down in number 4. Lesnar and Okada have had quite the altercations over the last 3 weeks. And this evening is going to be an interesting one for Lesnar. Paces himself around the ring. Is Okada here this evening? Is Okada going to look to try and get under Lesnar's skin just days before WrestleMania, I wonder? That is something that we're about to find out. Lesnar's ready. The WWE Champion is ready for this contest. Ambrose is ready, we're ready, and I imagine wherever Okada is, he's watching on backstage. He's got to be ready as well. Lesnar, look at how just riled up and ready to go he is. And that should tell you the tale as well. Huge clothesline right out of the gates. Lesnar isn't interested in playing around, and Dean Ambrose is experiencing that firsthand right now. Snake eyes. Oh, good God, Lesnar is a man on a mission right now. Suplex. This is all about Brock Lesnar in the early stages of this matchup. This is what Okada has to deal with this Sunday. Ambrose counters the German suplex, however. Headbutt there. And off the ropes. Twisting neck breaker. Uh-oh. Big running bulldog. Here we go. Ambrose now starting to turn things around for himself. Ambrose gets some offense going up. Never mind, I jinxed that one. Lesnar back to his dominant display. As I said, this is what Okada's going to have to deal with this Sunday. This is the onslaught that the Rainmaker's going to find himself in just a few days from now. This is something that he needs to be prepared for, because if he isn't, he can kiss any hopes of being the WWE Champion goodbye. We saw their stare down last week. We've seen their brawls these last 2 weeks as well. And Okada have it in him to defeat Lesnar on the show of shows and walk out with that WWE title, I wonder. Lesnar in, German suplex. Wait a minute though. Walking his way down the ramp came Okada, and I think Lesnar caught eye of him as he hit that German suplex. Lesnar and Okada staring each other down. The Rainmaker has caught the attention of the WWE Champion. Meanwhile, from behind, Ambrose rolls up Lesnar. He rolls up Lesnar. Ambrose got him. Ambrose pinned the WWE Champion. Victory for Ambrose. He beats Brock Lesnar. Oh, but Lesnar isn't happy. Lesnar isn't happy. He just forced Dean Ambrose right back into the ring here. And Okada watching on. Lesnar looks him down at F5. F5. Ambrose out of the ring, and the fight is on again. Lesnar and Okada. Just days before WrestleMania do battle again. The fight is on once more. Lesnar though, with Okada on his shoulders. F5 to Okada. The Rainmaker goes down. Ambrose goes down. Lesnar stands tall. Will this be what happens at WrestleMania? Will the Beast conquer the Rainmaker again? Lesnar is at his absolute peak right now. And we just saw it there. Ladies and gentlemen, I was about to wrap up this episode of Universe, but apparently there's something going on backstage. Wait a minute. Oh my God. That's bad luck, Fale. That's bad luck, Fale. Assaulting Christian James. The SmackDown general manager's being assaulted backstage. No, 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 no. No way, Fale. Bad luck for the Christian James. It seems AJ Styles' quest has already begun.